49ers and Buccaneers. Oh man, was this a juicy game? And the 49ers dominated the game, but at what cost? See, we've seen Kyle Shanahan do magical things with this offense, create incredible plays. But the challenge with the 49ers, and this is something I want to really focus on in this video, is that they run such a physical game that their teams fall apart by the end of the season and they can never make it to the playoffs. Very often they're completely hobbled with injuries. And this is not something that's been going on just temporarily. This has happened over the last decade where they've been consistently riddled with injuries. And I believe that there needs to be something spoken about and approached with this defense and this offense and the way they're coaching this team so that people don't actually see them wear and break down the way they should or way they could because of the way they're running. So here's the thing with the 49ers, and I want to get into some of the details here and what we have going on because I think that when you think about the 49ers, first of all, let's just recap the game. So they came out guns blazing and scored 7 points in the first, 21 in the second, another touchdown in the third, and that's when Tampa finally got on the board before finally just kind of shutting each other out in the fourth quarter. But here's really where things kind of got juicy and where we see the game was it's just so brutal how good Shanahan is and how good this 49ers team is. Essentially, using a third string starting quarterback, a rookie quarterback, Brock Purdy, he was able to get the kind of production that he wanted out of that team. But here is the big knock on this game. If you look at the 49ers over the last decade, they have ranked in the top of the league in terms of injuries. And this is not by coincidence. If you look at how they run their offense and what Shanahan is doing with this team, they are getting beat down. And they are playing their players, their skilled players, through the middle, through positions where if you had your players matching up in a more consistent fashion, where you weren't necessarily having them essentially always running down the middle through offensive linemen, through defensive linemen, you're going to have much more longevity. But he takes a lot of risks with his players. He puts them in positions that makes their offense really hum, but it's at what cost? It's not necessarily sustainable. And I think that's where the 49ers really need to get into what we're seeing here. And they need to look more clearly at the fact that if they're going to be a team that can build and run for the long term, they've got to be smarter about how they use their players. These are the injury updates right now. We've got Trey Lance, Elijah Mitchell. You've got Trent Williams out on left tackle. And I'm not saying every one of these people is an injury that's in response to the way Shanahan's running his offense, but just looking at the game last night and Deebo Samuel going out on injury, Jerry Rice, very respectable player, talking about how we got to stop running these skill players up the middle, how, Jimmy Garoppolo, Trey Lance, just they're getting hurt. Right? And I'm not saying that Jimmy Garoppolo was caused by this, but certainly if you think about how the offense runs and just the recurring issues that you see in this team with them actually getting injured over and over, this is not a coincidence. The way that you design your offense and you run your players is going to directly affect their longevity. And players aren't going to hold back. They're going to want to get after it and do what they can. So you've got to be smart as a coach and make sure that you coach in these aspects of a grueling, long 17-game season in order for you to have that longevity with your players and team. So lastly, I'll just mention, so far it looks like the injury update for Deebo is not season ending. So that's really, really good. But the reality is we just don't know. And if it's something like a high ankle sprain, those can last many, many weeks, and they can definitely affect their performance. And Deebo is a power receiver. He's been tricked out into being also a backfield receiver, running back. But we all know backs don't last. And if you really want to take advantage of someone like Deebo's talents, where he has incredible catching hands and power, maybe there's a better way you can distribute him so he's not directly going through the face of the defense and the teeth of the defense to get rolled up on and crushed. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. I thought this was interesting. I think that as a football fan in general, I would love to see the 49ers, and I believe that Shanahan is an amazing coach, but the way they're running this offense and team, they're kind of running it into the ground. And every single season, these issues keep coming up. They keep coming back where they're in this position where they could do really, really well, but they have these injuries. So thanks for watching. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, like, comment, share, and I'll see you in the next video.